Hey, how's it going? How's it going? How's it going? Some more. This is Politics with Laura here. Okay. I got some breaking news, but some old news because it's old news to me because I reported on this about 2.5 years ago. And yeah, I'm blocking myself. I'm so silly. But look, there's a lot going on here. The US, the Pentagon, they have fell asleep on Venezuela. They fell asleep on it.
Mommy, because I thought we were supposed to conserve
Hey, this is big girl. Rushing waters and the Red Dragon country has been in Venezuela for about 30 years. And as they and their countries, respective countries, were building themselves up, they were also doing so. I don't think that it was on a down low or like, sneaky here, sneaky here. I don't think that was the case. I just think that the United States was like, ugh, like whatever, trying to think this one through. But it started with, let's go with China, because China has upgraded a lot of their stuff, their infrastructure, along with Russian waters. But now it was Biden, then from Biden to President Trump to put sanctions on him. Now, Biden had a hard time putting sanctions on Vladimir Putin. He could not break Putin economically. He couldn't do it because there were, and I reported on this about 3 years ago, that countries were falling on BRICS. BRICS was the backbone that allowed Russian waters to be able to stay afloat and not be crippled by the sanctions, the economical sanctions that the U.S. was putting out there. So now it's like on to Venezuela and putting sanctions on them. They may not use SWIFT, but they are staying afloat in other ways. And I'm going to say it. Look at cryptocurrency. Just take a look at that. It's an alternative way of doing business, and to where U.S. says, hey, check this out, Putin. I don't like what you're doing, so I'm going to starve your people. I'm going to keep people from doing, other countries doing business with you. Well, you can't do that with Venezuela because Venezuela has business contracts with the Red Dragon country, and they have over 2 billion people, just them alone. So, Trump, what are you going to do with that? Besides have a Cold War and say, I'm not talking to you and I'm not talking to you. That's exactly what's going on. But it's not going to work. It's not going to work. So, Venezuela, after when Zapata Oil, you got to check out who owns Zapata Oil. Check them out. They destabilized and put Venezuela in the horrible position that it has been in for a long time. And it was something that was a continuous thing, a continuous assault over and over and over again. But that's no longer the case. Now Venezuela's like, look, US, I don't need you no more. And your kind of help no one needs, because that right there is not a good thing that you did. You kicked me when I was down. Actually, you kicked me to make me fall down, and then continuously kicking me when I was down. Now that I'm up and I don't need you. But it's not working. It's not working at all. The Red Dragon country built up and improved their missile system, their military, improved that. Then you had Russian waters that improved their infrastructure and bringing technology, building roads, doing all that stuff that the U.S. did not do. This is the reason why Trump called Venezuela an illegitimate, or Maduro illegitimate, because he has sided with Trump, not Trump, that he has sided with China, not only China, but Russia. And I'm going to show you pictures showing that Maduro was not only in China, but also in Russia, shaking hands and making deals. But let's first take a look at this, and then we're going to get back to the immigration part. Quite interesting. China seen backing digital authoritarianism in Latin America. Now, here, before we even get into it, the world has turned digital, and you have to build the infrastructure and have the people to run what they need done. To where even if you go to a local grocery store, it's more than just a Visa, MasterCard, more than just cash, because right now fiat money is disappearing all over the world to where it will not be used. Now, because it's China, Xi Jinping, they call it authoritarianism. So you got to keep in mind of who's writing it and just look at it for what it is and see through it. All right, having said that here, can we make this bigger? Chinese technology and expert is making it possible for Venezuela and Cuba to exercise suffocating control over digital communication in the two countries, according to the insider accounts of several international investigations. Venezuela and Cuba do more to block internet access than any other country or any other government in Latin America, according to the US-based advocacy group Freedom House, which has documented what it describes as digital authoritarianism in the regime since 2018. Whoever begins that privacy exists in Venezuela through email, communist communication, Twitter, WhatsApp, Facebook, and Instagram, in writing, all of these tools are totally subject to government intervention, said Anthony. Now, Daquin said China's role in recent years has been providing technology and technical assistance to help Venezuelan government process large amounts of data and monitoring people whom the government considers enemies of the state. We have television cameras, system, fingerprints, facial recognition, algorithm system, the internet, and conversations, he said. And this is everything that the United States already does. I was going to say something about the caravans coming from Venezuela, bringing all the people up here. I have a funny feeling that it had a lot to do with him. A lot to do with him. The two of them, I believe, orchestrated that to bring masses of people from all around the world to ascend on the United States to bring complete and total chaos. And I gotta say, that was a heck of an idea. I'm still thinking on that one.